So let me summarise the blended learning design process. We start with a situation analysis. We try and make sure we ask all the right questions. We ask the right questions about the learning requirement. We ask the right questions about the audience and what characteristics they have. And we ask questions about the constraints and opportunities that affect us. That way, if you like, we know that we're dealing with something which is well defined and well analysed. We're not just, if you like, working in the dark. It sometimes seems a bit tedious to have to ask all those questions, but there's a great danger otherwise that we're going to produce something very nice which doesn't meet the requirement, and that's a very frustrating process. So we start by asking the right questions. Only then do we move on to looking at what would be an effective solution for delivering on what we've just analysed. And what makes it effective are the methods that you choose. And those methods can be categorised in different ways, but two ways that I strongly recommend is you look in terms of the social context in which those methods are used, what's done self-directed, what's done one-to-one, what's done in a group. Also look at some big strategy decisions. In other words, is this essentially a question of putting information across? Is it exposition? Is it instruction that we're trying to do? Is it more of a guided discovery process, or is it making resources available for exploration? We need to make those decisions because those determine whether it's going to work. If we don't get those right, then it won't work. Only then do we say, look, we've got a good design, we know this is, we feel confident it's going to work, we're going to go on and try and find the most efficient way of delivering it. Now, that's not because we're trying to be mean or cheapskate or anything like that. It's because everybody, when if they've got a responsibility for teaching or for training, has a responsibility to do that efficiently, which means that it's flexible for the student, which means that it reduces the amount of time as much as possible that's going to be spent on it and keeps costs down. So that's our last consideration. The important thing is that we haven't traded off efficiency and effectiveness. We haven't said, well, we could make this a little less effective in order to make it cheaper. What we said is we'll start off by creating a design which is effective, one which we know will work, and then we hold that in place, we lock that down, and then we find the most efficient way of delivering it. And that's the key to this process. You're not trading off. You're not saying, all right, times are tight, we'll do a shoddy job and do it cheap. What you're saying is we're still going to do a really good job, but we're going to do it as cheaply and as quickly and as flexibly as we possibly can. So what guarantee is there if you go through this process that you're going to end up with a solution which is effective and efficient? Well, unfortunately, there is no guarantee, because even though the process is a logical one and it should help you to come to sensible conclusions, there's still an awful lot of judgment along the way. Now, maybe at some time in the future, someone that will develop an algorithm whereby we just type in the answers to some questions and out will come a design. But at the moment, it's too complex a set of variables to expect that to occur. We have to use our judgment and our experience and particularly our knowledge of the organisation in which we work and the types of people that who are going to be our learners. So there's no guarantee, but then it's not a one-off job, if you like. This is something which can go through many iterations. It's quite possible that you could analyse your situation and then come up with several different blends and look at which of them are going to be the most practical and efficient to implement, and then select one that you work on further. It might be that even that one you refine, through discussion and getting feedback from other stakeholders, and that you make quite a few changes to that design before you finally go ahead with it. And that's not the very end, because you learn through experience. You implement the blend, you find that some aspects of your blend work well, some aspects of the blend less well. It's not a project with a particular finish point. This is an ongoing process. You can be continually refining that blend. Actually, one of the advantages of a blended approach is that because it's very modular, you're almost by definition dealing with a number of separate elements. You can just tweak those elements which you think aren't working as well as you'd like without having to worry about all the others. So it's an ongoing process of refining your blend, and it's still a huge amount of skill and judgment required. So there's plenty of scope for the designer to create something which is entirely individual.